you're an academic staff in Niger State, North Central Nigeria, you will now retire at 70 and a professor at 75. That is the bill by the State House of Assembly. Welcome to your #1 labor program from Africa to the rest of the world, the tripartite, the worker, employer, and government roundtable. Next is Did You Know?
Did you know?
I think what the worker needs to be healthy and productive is a collective thing. There is the individual aspect and there is corporate aspect. What I mean by individual aspect, you must have an intentional attitude towards becoming healthy. And that comes with knowledge. So the area of health education and awareness is paramount at this point in time. Then the corporate aspect is such that the establishment has some degree of enforcement to do, thereby getting the workers to remain healthy. Because if the worker is not healthy, productive hour is lost, man hour is lost, and that will not be nice for the establishment. So, generally speaking, both the worker, even the family, and the corporate establishment need some role, have some role to play in keeping an employee healthy.
Did you know?
My name is Mohammed Megardi Gadi, the Minister of Labor and Employment. You are watching the tripartite program on AIT.
Now that is our new program, new segment on the program. Did you know? You can be part of it by sponsoring that segment. And in our package for today, you hear from hotel and personnel services senior staff what their challenges are. When you go to hotels and you see cockroaches running, what is the issue? Also on this program, we'll take you to Japan and we'll take you to labor stories shaping the world of work in Nigeria. Let's welcome Francis for a global update on labor stories.
It is another loaded segment in this episode as we bring you top labor stories shaping the world of work globally. I am Francis. Let's begin in Yokohama, Japan, where talks on jobs and livelihoods was made central to resilience in Africa. The International Labour Organization and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction said at a high-level event during the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development TOU KNOW that decent jobs, skills development, and local capacity building are essential to strengthening resilience and tackling the root causes of protracted crisis in Africa. The side event, entitled Jobs and Livelihoods, Enhancing Resilience, a means to address root causes of protracted crisis, brought together governments, workers and employers organizations, UN agencies, academia, and civil society. Japanese public sector workers secured a significant 3.62% wage increase through their union JICHIRO. This marks the first time in 34 years that salary increases have exceeded 3%, reflecting a successful collective bargaining strategy. The increases particularly benefit young workers with starting salaries rising by 12,000 to 12,300 yen. The wage victory came after JICHIRO collected over 500,000 signatures and engaged in persistent negotiations with authorities. Now, according to a new survey by All Workspace, over 50% of workers say AI will make offices obsolete. while 71% believe it boosts flexibility and balance, pointing to rising demand for AI-powered remote work. The survey says more than half of employees believe AI will make physical offices unnecessary in the future. Nearly 7 out of 10 say respondents in the survey say AI improves their work-life balance and let them stay productive from anywhere. Would you work for no pay? The question behind the Air Canada strike. When Air Canada flight attendants walked off the job earlier a week ago, they had one rallying cry: "Unpaid work won't fly." It was a reference to the long-standing practice in North America's aviation industry of not paying cabin crew for work they do when they are on the ground before the plane is in motion. In contrast, some European airlines industry experts told the tripartite that they pay cabin crew monthly wages rather than by the hour. The brief strike wreaked havoc during the peak summer travel season, but flights resumed after both sides agreed to a tentative deal on Tuesday, August 19th. The proposed agreement reached by the Canadian Union for Public Employees and Air Canada has not been fully released, but those familiar with its contents report that it includes a pay bump over several years and, most notably, partial pay for boarding duties and cabin secure checks before takeoff, a first. Experts say the wins secured by Air Canada's cabin crew could help solidify a new standard for aviation workers on the continent. The Minas Gerais Nurses Union has overturned attempts by management at a number of hospitals to make illegal pay deductions under Brazil's new minimum wage law for the profession. Thanks to the union's fight, a court ruled that every cent wrongly taken must be paid back, and bosses are now banned from making such deductions in the future. In Nigeria, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Maigari Dangiade, has stated the country's commitment to upholding international labour standards and meeting its obligations as a member state of the International Labour Organization. Dangiade spoke at a tripartite workshop organized to prepare Nigeria's first report on 4 key ILO conventions. The 4 conventions are C-190, Violence and Harassment Convention, 2019, C-187, Promotional Framework for Occupational Safety and Health Convention, 2006, C-181, Private Employment Agencies Convention, 1997, and C-143, Migrant Workers Supplementary Provisions Convention, 1975. In Nigeria, the Ministers of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi and Nkiruka Onyejiocha, have inspected ongoing work on the 7-story office complex of the National Directorate of Employment (NDE) in an effort to fast-track work to attract more successes in the Renewed Hope Labour Employment and Empowerment Program (LEAP), launched by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Still in Nigeria, it is a mixed bag for the newly launched Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund (TISSF), as colleges of education workers cry of being excluded. The Academic Staff Union of Universities (Asuu) has rejected the loan scheme, threatening a strike. Asuu's position is coming after polytechnics and colleges of education academic and non-academic staff have kicked against the ideas amidst outstanding arrears and weak take-home pay. The loan allows access to up to 10 million non-interest, 12 months moratorium, eligible to workers having more than 5 years to retirement, and it is payable within 5 years. Still in Nigeria, members of the Niger State House of Assembly have passed a bill extending the retirement age of academic staff in state-owned institutions. Under the new bill, the retirement age for general academic staff has been increased from 65 to 70 years, while professional cadre staff will now retire at 75 years instead of 70. The lawmakers explained that the move aligns with national standards, retains experienced academic staff, and improves education quality. All workers under the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association (PENGASSEN) at its 4th PENGASSEN Energy and Labor Summit joined Nigeria's Ministers of Oil, Labor and Employment to ask multinationals operating in the country to uphold workers' health and safety on and offshore.
If you see this boat coming close to the platform, we have human beings doing the job of a crane. We have human beings, look at them. They are dragging out those items from the boat. So just imagine, this is happening in some of the oil and gas installations that we have in Nigeria. Sadly, some platforms remain unsafe, and with operators cutting corners at the expense of our lives for our industry and nation.
And that's all we have for you on this segment. I am Francis.
Now, in our Let's Talk segment for today, we have the president of the Hotels and Personnel Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, E.A. William Adugwa, to tell us what their challenges are in that sector.
I am Comrade Festus Osifo, President Pengasan, President TUC. You are watching Tripartite on AIT.
Thanks for joining us on this segment of the program, the Let's Talk segment, and we have a special guest here with us to tell us about the workers in the hospitality industry. I have with me the President, Hotels and Personnel Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, E.A. Williams Adegbe. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, when people hear hotel personnel management, so many thoughts go through their mind. Can you tell us to what this union, who are those workers in this union?
All right, thank you very much, and thank you very much, viewers. Just like you earlier introduced, I am the National President of Hotel and Personal Services Senior Staff Association. This is an affiliate of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. The union is positioned to, serve especially the senior workers in hospitality industry, mostly hotels, catering industries, and other personal services, even securities and all that. They are all involved in this association.
What level of security?
Well, it depends. The security that are registered, is part of our responsibility to organize them. But in most cases, they always decline because of the nature of their job.
Personal services.
Yes.
Okay, give us a breakdown of the personal services. Who are those in the personal services? You talk about security now.
Yeah.
And who again?
We're talking about the catering services.
Okay.
All the catering outlets that we have in the country, they are part of the personal services. And then it goes further to even include, if you have an organized hotel service, security services, security outfits, all these private security outfits that you are seeing all over Nigeria, they are expected to be organized under an umbrella. And this Hotel and Personal Services Senior Staff Association is positioned to handle such, these people under the security outfit.
Now, what are some of the challenges that you have that you have been agitating? Because we know that every union in Nigeria will tell you they have 10 issues, 14 issues, what are these issues that are obstructing your high productivity or optimal productivity?
Well, thank you very much. The major issue that we are having in our sector, especially the hospitality industry, which hotels are the base of the hospitality industry that we are talking about. Today, it has become so difficult to organize the staff or employees in the hotel industries. The issue is whether it's because the owners of these businesses don't understand to know the importance of having your employees being organized. We don't really know, but it has become a great challenge. I'll tell you what, if you go any urban areas in this country, majority of the business outfits you see are hotels. But if you enter the hotel, you see up to hundreds of people, working in the hotel. But majority of them are working and going home with peanuts, because there is no, they are not organized under any form of labor, and it is as a result of the intimidation they are getting from their employers.
Wow.
That as you are coming to work, it has become so bad, especially after COVID-19.
Is minimum wage fully implemented?
In the hotel that we operate, minimum wages are enforced. Minimum wage is on ground, except in other hotels that have no union. Who speaks for them? Nobody speaks for them. They don't know what. In most cases, you just go out to a hotel that there's no union. They ask them what is minimum wage. They don't know what is minimum wage. And there are a lot of other.
So that's
benefits.
why you're calling for unionization.
That is why I'm calling a standard hotel that has workers more than 50 to be able to allow their workers to have access to their right of being in union.
You have not done this agitation enough.
We have been trying our best possible. In most cases, we are even in court with so many hotels. I don't want to start mentioning their names right now, but there are so many hotels that we are in court with.
At the same time, while you are in court calling for unionization, we have information that hotel workers aid trafficking, hotel workers aid illicit activities. Can you speak on that?
You see, that is one of the advantages that the hotel owners who does not welcome union fail to understand. Because where there is a responsible union like ours, we have industrial training for all the members under our umbrella every year to make sure that we give them, the rudiments of being in union. What is not allowed by government should not be practiced by any member of the union. And what you just mentioned is part of what we go against.
We understand that hotels that are even organized, as you are saying, violate the 8-hour daily and 40 hours per week international labor law for work.
That is a serious offense if it is being practiced and is being brought to our fold. We go straight after it. And in a place where such a thing happens, it will be dealt with.
That is predominant with the personnel services. We have seen security men, those are organized guards, security guards, those are the people you are referring to.
Anyone that you see
24 hours round the clock.
Yeah.
That is a violation.
Any place that you see this kind of violation, you should know that they are not organized. If a hotel or a personal services we're talking about is being organized, if there's any act of violation, the branch executive will report to the national executive, and immediately the national executive will take immediate action and meet the management of the hotel, and that will stop immediately.
So what effort have you done to properly unionize the personnel services? Because we have observed that some of these personnel services, they buy their boots, they buy their uniform, they buy their belt, they buy their torchlight to work. So what effort have you done to ensure that these things are addressed?
Like most of the security outfits. We attempted to organize them. That was even last. We went as far as to the Ministry of Labor. And we were made to understand, by the act that established them, it is difficult for us to organize them. And that is where we get hooked, in progressing to organize the security outfit of Nigeria. Unless that is ironed out and settled for them to have their freedom of organizing, it is difficult for us to get
Is it a fact that you have a huge percentage of the workforce in the hotels, the huge percentage of the senior workers in the hotels being expatriates?
If there is a case of influx of expatriates taking the job that Nigerians are expected to take, we'll go after it, even to the immigration, and make sure that what has to be done will have to be done.
Some people have argued that it's an all-comers affair. Do you have an entry point? And what is the exit point?
Let me tell you something. When, like where I'm working, I came here, I started my work in the hospitality industry as a youth corps. I'm an engineer. When in the camp that time when I was posted to hotels, engineer, what are you going to do in the hotel? Are you going to cook or that? No. And a well-structured hotel, encompasses all form of discipline that in Nigeria, from engineering to accounting to those that read hospitality management, business, and all kinds of departments are found in Nigeria. In hotels, all discipline that I think hotel is the most viable place of employment in Nigeria, where you can see all fields working together to make sure that the customer got satisfaction.
I've lodged in a hotel in part of the country where I saw cockroaches in my bedroom.
You see, all these things are expected to be carried out by a specific regulator within the government. But, union cannot be in everywhere, Like this can not only be the responsibility of the union, but even a customer that is lodging in a hotel that is infested with cockroach has a responsibility, because it's your choice. You have paid to be in the hotel, you have paid for your comfort. For coming to see such a thing, it means, it is your own responsibility to raise a red flag.
Thank you very much. We have been speaking with the president of Hotel and Personnel Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria.
I'm Reverend Professor Hyacinth Ichok, the Vice Chancellor of Veritas University, Abuja. Please keep watching the tripartite program on AIT.
Thank you very much for being part of this program. We promise to be giving you breaking and insightful labor stories. And don't forget, as we say on this program, workers' lives matter, employers' business matter, government policies matter, pensioners' welfare matter, eliminating child labor matter, and fair recruitment matter to the tripartite. Follow us on all our social media handles and please subscribe. I am your host, always, Abulu Osemwahu. Let's do this again.